Chef Instructor, Chef Coleman. Today we're going to be going over tools of the kitchen. As you can see, we have all of this out so we can give you a quick overview of it, because in order to become a chef, you have to know what you're working with. If you don't understand what you're working with, you can get hurt. Knowledge is power, and applied knowledge is the best way to use it. So we're going to get started because we have a lot of stuff to go through. When I first started working in the kitchen, I didn't know a thing. I'm gonna be honest, and that's probably like most of y'all. So don't be afraid. When you see this, don't be intimidated. When I got there, I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what was what. I had a little bit of knowledge because I used to do some things when I was young. I learned how to first cook tater tots at home, and I made my own hamburgers because back then they didn't have the pre-made hamburgers so readily like they do now. My mom used to go buy it in bulk. We had to bag it up and all that stuff, and I had to learn how to form it, make it, fry it. And guess what I fried it in? You guessed it, a frying pan on the stove, you know? So first tool of the kitchen you want to look for when you go in is really going to be a stove. Okay, they may look like this. They may look like real big ranges with gas coming all out, fire coming all out, and that's fine. Don't be afraid. Or with us, you'll use this, okay? And if you're asking what this is, I work for the president. No, I'm just kidding. This is a butane burner, which is what we would use, and these are very good. It's butane in it. It's simple. We put it together. This is what a canister of butane look like. You know, we want to give it to you, and it's simple to put up. I can do it with my eyes closed. Look, my eyes are closed. Find the hole. Let's see if it's lined up. Then I could, nope, not lined up all the way. Hold on, let me see. I got it. Nope. Okay, I'm open my eyes. Well, you know, oh, that's what it was. See, that's why you need to know your tools of the kitchen. Then you do it like that. Hold on now. There we go. And simple. And we'll do it like this. Don't do this, but I want to show you how simple it is. Fire. And that's how your fire would look if you had a gas stove inside of a kitchen, okay? But it's a simple thing. This is what we use. This is the first thing that I know I look for when I come in to a kitchen, is to see where my equipment is at. The stove, whatever else I'm using. Like, as you can see, we have microwave and everything. We also have a deep fryer. Most kitchens, especially commercial kitchens, they have a deep fryer, majority of them. So I look for it. Deep fryers should have thermometers on them. Thermostats, so that it regulate the temperature of the oil that's inside. We fry things mostly on 350. Most deep fryers go up to 400 degrees. Some may go a little higher. It all depends on what they're doing with it. But you look at it, you look for it. When you find it, you're good. Deep fryers make things a whole lot easier for us. So my next thing I do when I come into the kitchen, I come in prepared. So part of my uniform when I come in the kitchen is a thermometer. Every chef should have a thermometer, okay? Thermometers help you with your vegetables, with your meats, with your sauces. They help you when you make sure you get the right temperature heating up. They make sure you get to the right temperature when you're cooling down. But thermometers are very simple. I just take this one, pull the cap off. You see this end? There's a little knob on it. You stick that part into the deepest part of the meat, the thickest part of the meat, and you go until you pass out that little indentation that's in the thermometer. That's how you get the most precise reading. Okay, we'll go over your different temperatures for different things in another session. But for now, just know you need a thermometer. Another part of your uniform is a marker, and another part of your uniform is a pen. And what happens is you need that marker so you can mark off things after you cooked it. You need a pen so you can make sure you got the temperatures down, in case you got to take notes. Because when you come into the kitchen, we always have meetings, quick look get-togethers, just in case we have to do something different, or if we have to just take notes for when I or my boss or somebody working with you tell you something different. You can't. No, not you can't. You never want to try to remember everything off the top of your head. You always want to have a piece of paper and a pen with you, because when you get an instruction, and sometimes instructions can change just like that in the kitchen. So let that be part of your uniform, your pen, your marker. Then when somebody tell you something, write that down. Two things happen. Number one is for accuracy, but number two is covering yourself for when they say, I thought I told you to do this. No, you came at this time and told me to do this. And that's safety for all of us. That keeps us going. Okay, my next thing is a veggie pillar. This will be very important to you when we're doing the garde manger, when we're doing vegetables, when we're doing all of those things. Because we can peel the vegetables, it's quicker, it's faster with this than it is with a knife, unless you're very skilled with a knife. But I would always suggest you use this vegetable peeler, okay? They come in different sizes, they come in different shapes, so don't go in the kitchen looking for it just like this, because it may be a different shape and you'll be like, oh, it's been here the whole time. Now, here's another version of a vegetable peeler, but this is actually a core. This one has a core on it as well. You can core things out with it, and you see that little tip? But this one is more pronounced. Plus, you can make designs with this. You can make the designs with this. You can, like some fruit, you want to scrape the sides of it just to make a design, but you'll get into that once you learn how to make roses and flowers and stuff out of fruit. When you make, I'm not the expert on that, but when you make them birds like the little Japanese man do, that dude had them birds looking like they about to fly off the table for real. But he used things like this. And don't be surprised. Always learn your craft. Always learn the tools of the trade. Always learn. Look to go deeper in knowledge. We can just give you that basic knowledge, but we want to place in you that encouragement to seek more knowledge, to go further and learn more. You know what I'm saying? Because if we went over everything, you'll never get out of class. So some of this stuff you'll have to do on your own, okay? Now, this right here, and this is a little funny looking thing. It looks like it should be on a cartoon, but it's really a basting brush. You can use it to put sauce on chicken. You baste your birds when you're baking turkeys, or you got other birds like chicken in and you want to baste it. You can take that juice out of the pan and put it on top. Basting is a word that you'll learn more about later on in the classes, but this is what this is, a basting brush. And you take it and you can sauce it and you can rub it back and forth. Look, it's like a paintbrush, the bristles on it. This is rubber, so you don't lose any of the bristles. They used to give you you can get a basting brush with regular bristles on it, but a lot of times the more you use it, the more they start falling off, falling into your stuff. They get frayed, they're just very ugly. I remember I seen one when I was a younger man, and they looked like a mop head. I thought somebody took the mop out there and just dipped it in stuff and did it. But that's what they used to use. But now they're using this. It's like silicone. It's not really rubber. It's like silicone, and it lasts longer, and you can clean it better. So our next tool is a rubber spatula. I love these. This is a high heat rubber spatula. We have a low heat rubber spatula, but for us, we'll be using a high heat rubber spatula. I love it because I can go from the table right to the pan and take it out in a bowl if I have to, and it's very, very flexible and durable. And you know, it's just really thick, and it's a high silicone rubber, so it don't melt right away. Now, it will melt if you put it in there long enough and let it get hot enough. Anything will melt with the right temperature, but this is very good. I love them to make my omelets. I love them to make my, when I have sauces, or when I make some grits or mashed potatoes, I can just scoop it right out the pan using this right here. And it's very simple. My next tool, this is another favorite. This is a whisk. Whisk, you want to get a whisk that's very durable, and you can use it. Not too heavy, not too light. If you get a lighter whisk, they have a tendency to bend when you're trying to mix something very heavy. When you're whipping something, they tend to bend. So you want to get one that's not too thick, but because you gotta use it. You gotta use it, and when you're using it, if it's too heavy, it won't move it. I mean, you'll have a harder time. And if it's too light, when you move it, it'll be the handle will be over here, and the prongs will be up here. You'll be mad. So get one that fits your hand first of all, and secondly, you want to get one that's gonna work for whatever applications you use it for. But these are very good. You can make salads, you can make dressings, you can make sauces, you can make mashed potatoes, you can make all of the things using this right here, and it's very versatile and durable. Now, this is great for a chef to have as well. Tongs, you know why? Because you don't want to use your hand when you pick them up. This is keeping your hands safe, and they're strong enough to pick up. They're strong enough to hold up. So we'll use this a lot in class. These are going to be one of our most used tools because you can use this hot, you can use it cold, you can use it. When I'm doing it, I'll be picking up my sheet pans. If I only have one rag, I help it. But you have to be strong enough to do it. Don't do it if you can't handle it. I'm just saying, that's what I do sometimes, because when you're in the kitchen, sometimes time is of the essence. You have to get it out. You have to get it somewhere, and keep it moving. And these are very good. These are like an extra set of fingers, okay? This is another one of our tools we'll use a whole lot on. A spatula. This is a regular spatula. Remember, rubber spatula, regular spatula. It's a difference, okay? If I say go get a spatula, the next thing out your mouth should say, which kind, chef? Rubber or regular? Because then, if I didn't differentiate for you, I just have you all over the place. It's okay to ask questions, as long as you're doing it in the right way. But this spatula right here, this is good for when you're grilling and you're in a pan and stuff, and this is made for meats. You can use this to flip your hamburgers, to flip some chicken, to flip, even if you're going in to get a casserole out, lasagna, broccoli, chicken, rice casserole, stuff like that. Because you can use it to cut. And guess what it does also? It's great for measuring. So if I want to cut something in a certain amount of pieces, I can use this as my point. See how that's a good serving size, half. See? I mean, they're versatile. You can use them for a whole lot of things, okay? Now, another tool of the trade, your bowls. These are very important because you couldn't mix anything if you didn't have these. These are glass bowls. We use these because we want you to see all the way through. But most kitchens, we have a metal bowl or a silver bowl because they're just cheaper. Honestly, they're just cheaper. Plus, you can grab them, and they're durable. If I drop this on the ground, it's done for. If I drop that metal bowl on the ground, it's just going to make noise and bounce around. I'm going to pick it up, rinse it off, and keep going. So, but we're using these because we want you to see all the application that we can use with them. And don't be afraid of them, but hold them with a good grip. See, I got this one with these 3 fingers. I'm holding this one with a fist because I want to make sure I don't drop it. It's very important that we take care of our equipment in the kitchen because equipment is expensive and we don't want to just be dropping it and tearing it up just because we can, because we have to replace it, okay? But bowls are very important to use. They're not just good for cereal, okay? Because I eat this bowl of cereal right here by myself because I'm a big dude, you know what I mean? And put them down very gently. Very gently. See? Okay. Now, we have measuring cups. We have different kinds. You have plastic measuring cups. You have metal measuring cups. It doesn't matter what kind you have. But I'm telling a story. Get plastic. You get metal tends to rust and you don't want to use that. And you don't want them in your kitchen. You get an inspection or whatever. You can get in trouble for having rusted metal. So we want to make sure we have the plastic, but we have both kinds. The most important thing about your measuring cups is that you can read the numbers on the side. It wouldn't do you no good if you have a measuring cup with no numbers. So you want to make sure you have the numbers on the side. But these are good. It says 1 cup. And this is 1 cup. So the truth is, you should be able to put 1 cup of something in this and it'll be the same amount of 1 cup as in this one. It should always be that way. So we have different sizes measuring cup. This goes up to 1.5 cups. Is that right? Yep, 1.5 cups. So we have different size measuring cups this way. And most of these measuring cups you can come, and if you want to know how to do it, you can stack them together. Okay, these are the same size, almost. And you can stack them all. They're like this because that's for storage usage. And you don't have to take up a lot of space, but they go together and they go from a smaller size all the way to the larger size. So measuring cups is very important for us to use. The next thing we use in the kitchen will be sheet pans. Cookie sheets, but I like sheet pans. Then I know what I'm talking about. You know? But they're like this here. They come in different sizes. This is a half sheet pan, no, a quarter sheet pan. This is a quarter size sheet pan. And this one is a half sheet pan that has a rack on it. This rack is very important. It's a cooling rack. It's also a rack that we can separate, keep the meat out of the oil if we want to bake something, put it in. Like we can have flank steak, we grill a flank steak, set it right here, finish it in the oven if that's what we wanted to do, and it will never touch the oil and all that good juice and grease will fall to the bottom. And we can save that and actually make a sauce off of that same grease without it being jeopardizing the integrity of the meat. So that'd be really good, okay? And again, this is a half sheet pan with the cooling rack on it, okay? Now, in your kitchens, you have these right here. These are frying pan. I wouldn't call it necessarily an omelet pan, but it's a frying pan. I think this is about a 12-inch frying pan in diameter, but they get very big. They get way bigger than these. They get way bigger than these, but these are very essential to the kitchen. You have to use these. You have to cook with these. You need to have these, and you need to know where they're at all times. This is a saucepan. Okay, I'm not going to pretend like I know what size it is. It might be a quarter quart, half quart, quart, but it's a saucepan. This is what we would use to make a gravy, a small amount of gravy when you don't need that much, 2 or 3 people. It's very easy to use, very quick to use, and they're good because it's not very high. And what you're looking for when you get your pans is, this is a low surface area, and it's so when the heat goes out, the heat gets distributed along the base, goes up the side, down the side, back inside, and it heats up fairly quick. So that's what you want to look for. When you look at, so some of them are even a little wider and a little shallower. Now it all depends on what application you're using it for, so just be mindful of what you're looking for when you're using these, okay? In the saucepan, you'll do that, and they're so high, the difference in the height is because you get a little more in the saucepan because of the height, the depth of it, but you don't need it to be so wide because you want to contain it, okay? Now, other things we look for in the kitchen, where's our plates located, dishes and stuff like that. That's very important to know also. In our kitchen, yes, and in the kitchen you go to, you need to know, because when it's time to plate up, you don't want to have to run all the way across town and go get a plate. You want to know where they're at, and most time we need to bring them to where we're at, so when we plate up, we can keep it moving, because again, time is of the essence when you're preparing food. And we want to make sure our food is nice and hot, the integrity of the food, we don't want to lose it. But these plates, you need to know where they're at. No matter what the color, no matter how they look, no matter what the shape, you need to know where your dish is at, okay? It's very important. Now, this is called a pastry bag, a piping bag. It's a bag. It looks weird, funny. It looks like it's got beat up, ran over by a truck and everything. It could have, but what happens is, I really don't know what it's made of. I think it's a wax paper type thing. Oh, plastic coated. That's what it says. I read it. So what it is, we use it to pipe things out. Most time it's mashed potatoes. You use it for like deviled eggs. You'll use it for some custard, some creams. It all depends. It has a different type of tip in it, and it's interchangeable. And the best part about this is you can use this, wash it out, use it again. Wash it out, use it again. You don't have to you don't have to throw it out. It saves you time, it saves you money. And once you finish with it, you can clean it up, put it up to let it dry. So we're good with that, okay? Now, here's my favorite part. The different types of knives we use in the kitchen. I saved that for last because it could be a little more intensive and extensive. But we're going to get started. This is one of my favorite knives. I have a sheath on it. This is my paring knife. I love it because it's very versatile and durable. It's not very big. It don't take a whole lot. Keep an edge on it so we can use it. I would use it when you hear paring knife, it sounds like it's supposed to go with something. The only thing it goes with is your vegetables. You can cut small. I can use this to open up something. I can use this if I need to cut a little piece of meat off the sampler. I could do that. If I need to just get something really quick, this will work for me. This will work for me. And I tell you, it's very good to have. This right here is a fork, kitchen fork. With this fork, we use it to hold our meat when we're carving. You can use it to hold something still while you're cutting. You know what I'm saying? It's very versatile. I like it. It's a nice handle on it. Nice. This is a boning knife. Okay? Very thin, gets close to the bone, not very thick up here, very thin down here. So when you put it in, you can get close to the bone and you can cut it right off, okay? You use it for fish, you can use it for meats on the bone, chicken and stuff like that when you're trying to debone it. This is a carving knife. I can use this to carve with. It's long. Some carving knives are really actually a lot longer than this, but what makes it so good, it's a thin blade, it has a nice edge on it, and it goes right through the meat very easily. This right here, this is a bread knife. The ridges make it a bread knife. The ridges help it go through the bread very easy. You don't have to put too much pressure, too much force. You don't have to do too much with it. And it's very good to use when you're making sandwiches, subs, when you're cutting up some desserts real good. And here's my favorite knife. This is my chef knife. I like it. It's big, it's heavy. I like weight on my knives. It makes me feel like I'm holding something and I'm doing something. And I like them. This is a 12 inch. You have a 10 inch. Some of them you have an 8 inch. But I like using this knife because it gives me the height requirement to use to cut on my to cut stuff with. And another part of the kitchen tool set is this cutting board that everything is sitting on. And this is very important. We'll be using this in our class a lot because we need to make sure we don't mess up the counters. And plus, you don't want to cut on just a straight counter because you don't know. The Formica or whatever the counter may be made out of might come off and chip and be in the food, and you don't want that. And there's one more knife that I like. It's a Santoku knife. And with that Santoku knife, it's a Japanese knife. I like it because it's just made funny and it's fun to say the name Santoku. But you'll see it coming up. Now, what I want to hit on real quick is we have a knife. And okay, I'm going to use this one. We have a knife. The handle is wooden, has rivets in it. But the key to this knife is the blade runs all the way through the handle. Okay? It's called the tang. And the tang of the knife is very important. You see how it's built? See how it's made? All of it is just in case, one big piece of metal. That's good. All knives won't be made like this. But when you buy your knife, when you buy your sets of knife, make sure the tang is running through the whole handle. At least halfway through the handle. That way, when you use it, it won't hurt you. It won't break off in the middle of the application of what you're using it for. Because if it breaks off while you're trying to cut something, you can really be hurt. Whatever you cut, it might fall. You might try to catch it, could cut you. So make sure you understand the tang is very important in the knife, okay? Then you want to make sure your blade is sharp. You want to make sure that it's sharp. And never clean a knife this way. Always clean a knife away from you, the back of the blade. The blade headed face away from you and the tip away from you. You always clean the knife that way. Never clean a knife pulling it towards you, okay? So these are the tools of the trade, tools of the kitchen, tools of culinary. As we go forward, you'll learn more and more, and we'll introduce more and more to you, but these are your basic tools that we want you to get used to using, used to seeing, used to looking for, because that way it'll cut down half the class. Forgot one part. This is a colander. We'll use this. We'll call it a strainer. We'll call it several different names, but the correct name is called the colander. And you put your stuff in, you let it drain out, okay? You put it in, the water can run through, you can rinse out all the stuff, your pasta, your lettuce, anything fruit you want to rinse off and just keep them all together, you can do it. And that's fine. And this is real good to have. Keep it close, keep it handy, because you will use this more often than you realize, okay? So, with all of that being said, here's your tools of the trade. Everything. In a nutshell. We got it. We'll have it. When you're ready to use it, we'll show you how to use it. So don't fret, don't fear. We're here to help you, okay? Thank you for attending our Academic Culinary Arts Academy. We hope to see you again real soon. I'm your chef host, Chef Coleman.